What it do, everybody? It's Dr. Brokleg, and it's raining outside, so today we're doing the Hiace, or the Bosozoku van. Did I say that right? Bosozoku? Bosozoku van. Found some good ones, y'all. That's some good stuff there, guys. How do we get this van over there? That's the next question. Right, yo. All right, yo. So I'm out here in fabulous Northern California. Ventured all the way out here to get the right pictures behind this van. You know what I mean? If you're really on the vibe, you're really in your JDM van hype, you know what I mean? Your Bosozoku, if I'm saying it right, Bosozoku. If you're really on your Boso hype, you got to get some flowers in with the car. So unfortunately, I'm in these nice people's driveway, but you know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to get the pic. So let me see if I can get this knocked out real quick, get some fly stuff for this car, and I'm gonna get on the road. Anyways, actually, what a better place to do a little bit of interview about this van and just kind of do an intro. So, alright guys, well I can sit here all day getting shots because I don't know if I'll ever quite find the one I want. But I mean, I'm gonna add them all in right now. You guys can check it out. Wow, she shot good. Hold on, I'm gonna have to get this in the studio. It's really hard to catch all the beautifulness of this, so I'm gonna have to take like multiple clips and shots at different angles. But anyways, let me get to it. This is my 1991 Toyota Hiace. Bosozoku van, brought directly from Japan. I got it about a year ago or so. This was the first Boso van in California of this style, documented, y'all. AKA the Sprinter Killer, you know what I mean? Now, if you notice, one of my favorite things about this van, and I'm going to get right to it, my first and foremost favorite thing about this van is the fact that I brought this thing all the way from Japan, and in Japan, they had Z28 wheels on this car. 16-inch Z28s. Unfortunately, someone drilled the rims out to make them fit, because this is a 1-in-143 car, fitting 1 in 120 on the lug pattern right now. But one of my favorite things, just the fact that this thing has Z28 Camaro wheels. The fact that when I bought this car, I had 4 or 5 Camaros. I think we still have 3 Camaros. So even though I bring something all the way from Japan, it still has classic Chevrolet parts on it, which is one of my favorite parts about this van. And I haven't even got to all the amazing things that this thing has, but just to start, I mean, what do you think? Z28 wheels on the van in Japan? That means somebody had to get these wheels shipped all the way from America back to Japan, put them on here just for me to buy this car 20 years later and have it here. So one of my most favorite pieces. This car could be on 3 pieces, it could be on anything, but we've chose to leave it on these IROC wheels, which is just awesome. So shout out to my Japanese brother, whoever built this thing over in Japan. Thank you for keeping it crazy, keeping it classic, keeping your own style, and getting IROC Z28 wheels on the van. So let me get down to a little bit more about this van, yo. So we originally bought this van for our store franchise, Luxury Sodas. But then after my family seen it and how awesome it was, we ended up claiming it for our very own family van. You know, some people have Suburbans, some people have RVs. We have a Japanese van that we go everywhere in. So there's never been a show yet that we haven't wanted to go to that we couldn't all jump in this van. It holds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to 12 people. I think 8 legally. And I mean, it's been so far the 4th of July shows and a couple of others. We've only owned it under a year, but I mean, gosh, it's got plenty of things to go to. So another one of my favorite things about this van is the fact that it has multiple body kits on it. So the reason I got this van is because it didn't just have one body kit. It has 2 and yet 3 body kits on it, boso style to the max. But they kept it real mild, and it's just a factory boso RV that was built, factory Hiace RV, that they just made a great mom and pop rig, yo. So let me get to it, man. Let me get you a couple other views of this car. I do believe right now the van has somewhere in 40 lights. My hopes is to bring it up to 100 lights, and we're gonna do a sound wall in it in this coming year. And so let me get a little walk around and let me get out of these people's orchard. So this here was a 2.8 NA diesel motor. The Hiace was also available in a 2.8 turbo, and I do believe an NA gas motor was available in this rig also. And if you look at the YouTube, there's probably one of the dopest rigs built is a GTR all-wheel drive Hiace. But we got this one pretty stock, you know what I mean, as far as motor goes. I'll be doing the exhaust system on it soon, and we might be putting a baby turbo on it, but that's in the ways to go still. So this came factory and went to an RV plant. 30,000 kilometers on this baby. All stock. I do believe it belonged to an older couple. Even came with some cigarette butts I left in there just for the vintage. Full karaoke setup. All the way to the back. Karaoke setup in it. Shout out to Jessica, gave me this fly carpet for it. I'm gonna go drive around the block, guys, and I'll get into the back and let you see a little bit more of what's going on inside of this thing. So I originally discovered the Bosozoku culture, as you might say it. I can't even say Bosozoku and any other word at the same time. Anyways, I originally discovered the culture a long time ago when I really got into these Toyota Crowns. Short after, I bought a couple of Cressidas, which I use at Donuts for Dollars, and another one's my street car. And as soon as given the opportunity, we snatched this van up like as soon as possible. I tried to get an orange one that was available, but it had about a 6-foot roof wing, and we couldn't figure out how to ship it, so we ended up grabbing this one. Ooh, what's that? What's that? We got a noise. Oh boy, guys. That was a little scary. Apparently, if you leave it in second gear too long, it says something scary about the T-belt, and basically shift gears Brokleg. So yeah, I'm glad y'all caught that one with me. I've never drove this car in second gear that long. But she's probably still a little chilly, you know. One thing about these diesels, it takes like a half an hour to warm it up. So right now she is iceberg cold, and I need to just go ahead and give it some time to let it warm up. But for now, hold on, let me cruise down the block here. I don't want to run over this old timer on this quad. Let's go. Not sure if that was for me hitting that puddle back there, because I doubt this car's hit a puddle in like a long time, or if it's just for me leaving it in second gear and revving it out. So usually this car has like my whole family in it, and friends and anyone else from our block that we could find that wants to go hang out. But right now it's got me, because everybody's out getting some dinner. Shout out to the fam. Cindy, bring me home some fire. Let's get a auto shift. Clink. And this thing goes a nice hearty. It really enjoys like 65 kilometers. Shout out to the bros. It enjoys about 65 kilometers. I could get it up there a little higher. Just not too happy about it. I've actually drove this thing from Southern California all the way to Northern California with no plates, and I had about 3 highway patrols behind me, and all of them just passed me angrily on how slow my car is. Oh man, somebody's little doggy didn't know it was a chicken, didn't make it. Yo, so let's get this thing pulled into the house and give you guys a real inspection of this baby. All right, y'all, check out the inside. So I'm gonna be redoing this thing this year. We're gonna do a full walkthrough speaker box here in the back. But this is the factory gigs here. Hold up. The factory gigs right here. Full white pleather in the back. Of course, the lighting works when it wants to. Spare steering wheel for my truck. This was the whole bar, aka kitchen, for the karaoke. Get your walkthrough on. We got the complete setup right here. TV to get your karaoke on, speakers all the way around this thing. Of course, I need to figure out how to get them to all work. So let's get to a little rendition of Broklegs' heritage of the Bosozoku tradition. So basically, you got a bunch of guys in Japan, you know. Some of them are balling, some of them are very much not. A lot of wrecking yard boys like myself. The idea was basically go to the yard and build something with all the parts you could find, as cheap as possible, as low as possible, and as loud as possible. Put that thing on the road and go terrorize the streets at nighttime. And I mean, that's one of the parts of the culture that I love the most. And any of y'all comment, y'all can tell me your rendition, but this is what I've brought from the culture myself, everything I've learned. Basically, a lot of hoods, a lot of gangsters, a lot of nice guys, all into the same thing, which is crazy classic Japanese whips. And back then they weren't even classic. They were taking brand new cars and chopping them, putting them on the ground, making them as loud as possible, as bright as possible. And people like myself are going to make sure that heritage lives on, because as long as I've ever had a car, I've had a car with no exhaust, modified exhaust. My first 13 tickets were modified exhaust tickets. So this is a part of my culture. Even all the way in California, we've been supporting this Bosozoku culture before we even knew what it was. So as soon as I had a chance to own a few of these whips, you know, I jumped on it quick, you know. And I've had a chance probably the last 10 years of my life, I could go ahead and buy any one of them that I'd like if it's available. But, you know, I really didn't get into this for the last 2 years. And as soon as I did, man, I've jumped all the way in and just found a part of the culture that I belong into, you know. Both my Cressidas, we put in hours on, whether it's in the exhibition or on the streets. Make sure they slide and they do their work. So, I mean, shout out to everyone. Shout out to the Moonlight Runners. True, how you say, people in the game that are making sure this culture lives on in Orange County, you know, making sure that the culture just keeps going, you know. So shout out to all the Moonlight Runners. Shout out to all the rest of my folks, man. I have tons of folks that love this culture out there. And I get excited to see it move on. You know, even my boy Trevor, you know, he got the exhaust on the BMW. It just shows you that this culture has made it way farther than just Japanese cars, just Japan nightlife, you know. So I've also heard of this culture as vanning. You know, vanning, it could be also a thing. They call it vanning, but vanning is just a part of the Bosozoku culture in general. So shout out to everyone that's still doing the van thing. I've owned multiple vans in my life, but this is the most intense piece of art that I've ever had. Hold on, let's get a little quick segment. While we're here, let me run over here. I heard a fire up. We have the corn-breathing Impala over here doing its thing. Let's see what's going on. It smells, y'all. Definitely hard to stay focused around here. I'll be doing the Boso truck soon, aka Pit Patrol, as it gets further and further along. Unfortunately, I blew it up as soon as I got back from Florida, but that'll be your next Rolling Stone with Dr.Brokleg build. But for now, let's get back to the van, because it's about time to close it up. Like always, y'all, like, follow, subscribe. We're trying to get this thing up to 4,000, 400,000, 4 million. I don't even know. Like, follow, and subscribe. That's about all I know about these vans, man. I do know that I love them, and this is a culture that I'm bringing to California with my crew, yo. So check it out. Follow the van. I'm gonna give you a couple of pictures of the minivan also. You know, I go all the way in. I got a van and a van that goes with the van. And let me clip to the van real quick. I'll give you some van clips. Hold on. So the real question is, can you own a Bosozoku van without messing the name up 300 times and also without owning a miniature version of it? Shout out to the guys at Killer Body over in Japan. I got about 100 DMs from people showing me this little thing in a track over there in Japan, and I had to get it. This is an Australian GTR frame that I put underneath it, all-wheel drive. A great way to spend about $700 if you own a big white Boso van. So, I mean, I don't know, killer body? What do you think, guys? So that's it, y'all. Dr.Broklegs Bosozoku van, a.k.a. the Sprinter Killer. I'm going to leave you with a little bit of good vibes and lovely lights to end this video with. Like, follow, subscribe. I'm going to stretch this video out another minute or two, man. Nothing but good music, good folks. Shout out to my drift team, Big Indian Drift Pit. Donuts for dollars. Follow the page. April 14th and 15th, we're going to be getting down in Southern California. $1,000 grand prize for the best line, the best driver, if you know what I mean. $1,000 grand prize for the best stunt bike driver this time. Stunt bikers, come out and party with us. Man, we'll be doing 2 pits. We got a pit coming just for the crazy carts and for the RC cars. So y'all pull up on me. We may do another small track for the dirt RC cars because I've been really getting a lot of hits about it. I'm trying to get a few dirt bike flippers to come out. We have a huge festival, a huge set of music. Lineup is ridiculous. Man, I hope to see y'all there. All right, let me get right to it, y'all. Little bit of information. Also, if you want to see this van or any of our cars pop up in your city, give me a DM, yo. We got no problem showing up. I'll be judging a few drift competitions this year, not counting a ton of car shows. Me and my son, Prince Brokleg, will be out performing at a few shows and just kind of letting you know what the Donuts for Dollars vibe is all about. We'll be on the road. Merch drops are coming, actually. We just dropped a new shirt today. I'll have the pics today in the YouTube, so y'all check out the new joints. Sprinter Killer merch has been available. I'll also have a little link for the Sprinter Killer merch up. If it ain't up on the link, just DM me, man, and I'll get it right to you guys, yo. Shout out to y'all, man. Keep it cracking.